Greetings, fellow Whovians, and welcome to Timey Wimey Review. At the time of this recording, it is the 1st of December, so throughout this month, I'll be looking at some of the more seasonal episodes of Doctor Who, starting with the Christmas Invasion, which was originally broadcast on BBC One on Christmas Day 2005. And barring the little mini episode that we had, this is the debut story of the 10th Doctor. Just in case you don't know the plot, Rose Tyler and the newly regenerated 10th Doctor land with a bang back onto the Powell estate in London, Earth. Whilst the Doctor is recuperating, we have an alien race known as the Sycorax who have arrived on the planet with their intentions of enslaving the human race and stealing the Doctor's life force for their own evil gains. The Christmas Invasion, I feel, is a good character ensemble story, rather than throwing David Tennant straight into the limelight as the new 10th Doctor. So you get the likes of Jackie and Mickey, who you really see have sort of grown into their own characters and kind of grown up a bit as well. You saw Mickey being a lot more braver, taking on the Christmas tree. Jackie still be Jackie, but still having that, if anything, a more sort of softer, nicer approach. You know, she's a bit more approachable to the Doctor, and she knows, sorry, that he does good. Compared to when we saw her slapping the Ninth Doctor right across the face. This episode also furthers the story of Harriet Jones, who is now Prime Minister of Great Britain. And it was great to see Penelope Wilton back as Harriet Jones. I've seen Penelope be in various sitcoms and movies over the years, such as Ever Decreasing Circles with Richard Bryce back in the 80s, to some great British movies such as Calendar Girls and Grand Marigold Hotel. And Penelope, if you are watching, please come to a Comic-Con in the UK sometime soon. I would love to see you at a Comic-Con. But it was great to see this character challenge the Doctor to a certain extent. And I'm kind of, on her side to a certain point. What does the human race do when there is an alien invasion and the Doctor is not around? Because um, humans are getting noticed more and more every day, and there has been more and more alien races coming to the planet, so they're going to have to defend themselves, rightly or wrongly. And yeah, there should have been another way, absolutely. But I like the sparring between Harriet and the Doctor, and Harriet and Rose, and yeah, the sort of birth of Torchwood along with that. So we kind of got the first sort of seed of the story arc leading into season 2 with Torchwood. But back to Harriet. It's a great character. I love the "yes, we know who you are" gag, and I'm glad that they carried that on when Harriet made a return in Stolen Earth. Let's talk about the 10th Doctor himself, David Tennant. I thought this was quite a good debut story, and I kind of like that they teased the 10th Doctor along throughout this episode. We had little moments with David, but it was only towards the last, 10-15 minutes max that we kind of got uh, a Doctor-ish performance from David. I'm definitely rocking the Casanova look from his previous show with Russell T Davies. Not quite got the full blown hair going off that you see in throughout season 2, 3, and 4. And yeah, I also like the Arthur Dent reference from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy in his Jim Jams. And yeah, it's not the definitive 10th Doctor persona that we get to know and love with David, but there is quite a few sort of building blocks that has already sort of started with David coming into this, especially when he takes on the Sycorax and the sword play that goes on with that, and how he takes on Harriet Jones towards the end. I also like the line, which I thought was quite clever for Russell T Davies, when David says, and it's going to be fantastic. It's kind of like letting the Ninth Doctor go and having that passing of the torch. So we have a bit of a goodbye and thank you from the Ninth, and saying a big hello to the 10th Doctor. I also like the Sycorax, the villains of the story. I thought it was a quite good look for this alien race. I quite like the sort of the unmasking as well, and that's quite a lot of makeup going on there as well as this mask and then the cloak. I do sort of pity the actors that had to sit through makeup for hours on end to get these costumes. And yeah, definitely still hold up. I can't believe it's been 16 years since this show has been broadcast. This episode was originally broadcast. But yeah, the makeup was great. I would quite like to see the Sycorax return. I don't know if they're kind of like a one and done alien race. I'm sure they can kind of explore other sort of parts of their culture, I suppose. But as part, as a um, just a sort of a main villain of the piece without stealing too much of the limelight for other parts of the story. I thought they were good monsters for the 10th Doctor to take on. Now let's talk about Rose Tyler. Now this is a big sort of character development going on, starting from here and going throughout season two. Now Billie Piper is a great actress, done a brilliant job as Rose Tyler over the years, and definitely came into her own in the second season of Doctor Who. And who would have thought that with her being a former pop star? So nothing against Billie Piper whatsoever. However, the character of Rose I kind of grate on in certain moments, and it sort of starts here. Um, I I understand where they were trying to come from and going for the full sort of love and romance and kind of going for the Love is Blind type of story, but it just kind of grates on me a bit. And it's the line when Rose is getting all upset and crying and saying that he's left me. You got an alien invasion going off on there. You kind of I just find her a bit selfish in those little moments when they put lines like that for her. If you like it, then all more power to you. It's just personally for me, I just found it a bit too sort of grating on for me. That's the part of the Rose Tyler character that I just didn't like, where she started to just kind of go a bit more selfish and she says something, she says similar lines throughout season two, but she says it again at like Stolen Earth, where it's like, I was stood here on the worst day of my life. Look at me. It's just grates on me on there. But having said all that, I did like Rose Tyler kind of being the fish out of water, having to take the sort of doctor role in this episode and challenging the Sycorax and looking after Jackie and Mickey, and yeah, she does do a good job here, and I kind of like that part of the character. She's clearly learned a lot from the Doctor and standing up and saying no. It's just the selfish elements from Rose Tyler's character. It just doesn't sit with me. I know where they was trying to go from, but it just doesn't do it for me. I'm going to give The Christmas Invasion a TARDIS rating of 7 out of 10. It's a good debut story for the 10th Doctor, but I've got an extra sort of personal affiliation with this episode. It's one that I watch without fail every Christmas, every sort of seasonal holiday, and also for one of my beloved shows of all time to get an actual Christmas special. I know we had the Feast of Stevens as part of the Dalek Master Plan back in the 60s, but this was kind of like the first official Christmas special. And to see where Doctor Who sort of ended in the classic era in the 80s and 90s, the BBC kind of gave Doctor Who a bit of it was more of a taboo subject, but coming back in 2005 and coming back with a bang, it was great to see that Doctor Who was part of the BBC's primetime Christmas Day viewing. It was a must-see family event to see a new regenerated Doctor and having lots of fun with new aliens and developing really all the rest of the characters as well. So, like I said earlier, it is more of an ensemble character story rather than seeing the Doctor in all his glory. We get to see more of that throughout season 2. But a huge pat on the back for all the rest of the characters, especially Billy Piper and Penelope Wilton. They're the ones that they were the glue of this story for me. Especially the development of Rose Tyler, and also sort of that kind of springboarded for Jackie and Mickey, and of course Harriet Jones, Prime Minister. I wouldn't say former Prime Minister then, but no, Prime Minister. Yeah, she did a great job, and I don't know if that was done intentionally, but it certainly, I felt, helped ease David Tennant into the role as the 10th Doctor. And also, I love the Song for 10 track. Rather prefer the Tim Phillips rather than the album one. I wish that had the Tim Phillips version had a proper single release. I think that would have done quite good in the charts, really. But hey, it could always come back in the charts. Please make that happen. But if you haven't seen The Christmas Invasion for quite some time, or if you haven't even seen it before, do check it out. It is available on Blu-ray and DVD, and it's also on BBC iPlayer and HBO Max. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on The Christmas Invasion, and also let me know what is your favourite Doctor Who Christmas special. Next time on Timey Wimey Review, it's the season finale of Doctor Who Flux, Chapter 6, The Vanquishers. Can't wait for this season finale. Can't wait to see how it all plays out. Do check out my other spoiler talk reviews from the previous chapters. Until then, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. And as a good doctor once said, on the day they arrive on the planet, blinking step into the sun, there is more to see that can ever be seen. More to do than... No, hold on. Sorry, that's the Lion King.